Happy Saturday, YouTube. Why is it Happy Saturday? Well, because it's Saturday and I'm not at work, so that's a good thing. It's also great because the Leafs, for the first time since 1995, swept the California road trip by defeating the Anaheim Ducks last night in Anaheim in overtime. So Anaheim's normally a pretty good team, but recently they've succumbed to a lot of injuries and lost a lot of man games, and so last night's game should have maybe been a little easier than it was. But despite their injuries and stuff, it ended up being a really close, really entertaining game. Kadri again was in the thick of things physically and stuff like that, and yeah, Sparks got the start in net like I mentioned in my last video, and he had a much better performance than I mean, that's his third win. He's only lost one game. He's got 3 wins, but the wins he did get, like a lot of them had the high scoring games, right? So it was finally nice to see him get a win where he gave up 2 or less goals, right? Like that's kind of what you want, 2 or less, right? And so that was encouraging. The scoring came from, in regulation, Patrick Marleau, who is used to playing the Ducks many times over his career with being in San Jose for so long, so he's pretty familiar with them. And it was kind of one of those garbage goals in front of the net, but a lot of times that's how they happen, and a lot of guys make their living off of those. That was the only way I ever scored any goals, so so that was nice to see him get. I think that was his 4th of the season, so it's nice to see him starting to pick up some steam. But yeah, other than the only, it was 1-1 through the 3 periods, and nobody could really crack either goaltender, and it had to go to overtime, and in overtime Morgan Rielly ended it, and that was, I think, his 9th goal of the year. So I mean, he's leading defenseman in scoring, and he's just on a tear. And if the Leafs hadn't gone through that kind of mini slump where they didn't score so many goals, and those guys kind of everybody dried up a bit, it'd be scary to see how many points he would have, even more than he's got now, because he other than that little slump, he's just been on a torrid pace, and he's really coming into his own as a top flight defenseman. So which is what they need. They need somebody to step up like that and be the #1 guy, and he's obviously on his way to doing that. So but overall, just another solid effort from the Leafs. They skated, they forechecked, they got lots of chances, and it converted into another 2 points. So they're coming home to play Columbus on Monday, I think. There's no Saturday night game tonight, which is always weird, but I'm going over to my buddy's house for a sleepover and a play date to do some retro gaming. So of all the Saturdays to not have a game, it actually is quite convenient. So yeah, so that's all. I will see you Tuesday morning or sooner if I have more stuff to report otherwise. But as for my next Leafs post, that'll be Tuesday morning after the Columbus game, where they will return home and hopefully not revert to their home ways and keep the steam and the momentum and the effort that they put up on this road trip. Hopefully they can convert that back to the next home game against Columbus, and continue this kind of evolution of their game. So yeah, we'll see you Tuesday, and hopefully after another victory.